Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. I cannot believe we are already in the month of May, and it is me here with you guys, Sacred Para. I have missed you guys so much. It's been a while since I did a live, and especially at this time. I usually am on here on a Saturday around 3 o'clock or so, but as you guys know, things are different for our household. Last time that I was on here, I shared with you guys that my husband is now actually at a local gym. So he's still doing his fitness training. He still has his own clients that he's working with on a one-on-one basis, but he's also working at a local gym. So kudos to him. I am so excited for him. Everybody give an air clap. Go ahead. You can give an air clap. Woo! So he's working at a local gym. He's doing an excellent job, which I'm not surprised at all because he's like an excellent motivator. I have literally lost 15 or 20 pounds. We were talking about it today. It's like 15 or 20 pounds after working out with him. Like I'm actually working, wearing little Mr. Midriff here. And after 10 babies, this is like a huge deal for me. So I've been doing the workout program that he has prescribed for me here at the house. And we also do it together still. But it is a little bit different because his time and his schedule is different now. Which also means, because we're equally yoked, that's my hubby, also means that my time is now different. So I haven't been able to really connect, schedule-wise with you guys on Saturdays. And quite honestly, maybe a little while before I can do the Saturdays. So right now we're just kind of like, if we can get it in there and do like an impromptu live, that's what we're going to do. So that's what we're doing today. I have my kiddos here with me, as you guys probably heard them clapping in the background. And that's a little bit different because I usually, am doing my live in my own little, environment. And they're downstairs with their dad. And so now today, they're here with me, all 10 of them. And they're doing an excellent job. So I'm really excited. My sons set this up. They learned from the extraordinary hubby. And so they were able to set this all up for me today. And I'm really, really thankful that they did. I'm also really excited for being able to connect with you guys. And I'm hoping that we're able to do this more often and be able to talk about story. So here with Sacred Para, we talk about adults playing, right? We talk about adult play therapy. And definitely check out my book. It's on Amazon. It's also an ebook. So check that out. Adult play therapy gives you a nice history about actually play therapy as a concept and as a therapy. And then how we can take the same elements of play therapy and still utilize it as adults and the importance of it. And I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts, but I'm just telling you, check out that book. Listen, purchase that book on Amazon. And if you want the physical book, you can always get the ebook as well. So check that out. Give it to a friend. Share it. Talk about it. Because we need more people who are exposed to the wonderful joys of play therapy. Because it's something that has been an absolute joy in my life. It has helped me and it continues to help me, and I'm sure that it is also helping you guys. So check out that book. But today we're going to talk about the details. So last week or a week beforehand or even the week before that, it's been like a little while since I've been on here, I had put out 3 flyers, right? 3 flyers. I was like, hey guys, do you guys want to find out what's in my childhood bag? Do you guys want to know about the details of a story? Or do you guys want to, have like an update about my baby? And I had, scattered, votes here and there. And the one that won out was childhood bag. And just to let you guys know, at 11 months, baby is doing great. He's doing really, really great. He has just developed and blossomed, and he's a big boy now. I literally, we thought, with this being May, we're like, oh, he's going to be walking on his own. He's getting up and he's doing some stuff. He's still, walking with the walker. But I tell you, 12 months, he's going to be just like running. I don't even think that he's going to be trying to walk. Like, that's probably why he's not even doing it. He's like, forget it. I got all these older siblings. I'm trying to do what they do. So he's doing great. The other 9 are doing excellent. They're over here munching on some chips right now, looking at Toy Story while I'm talking to you fabulous folks, my fabulous IG family. So family's doing great. Hi, iHeart Dolls. Thank you so much for joining. So that's really my life update. Just that I'm going to be hitting up this live in an impromptu manner, and I probably won't be putting out as many flyers because it's going to be a little bit hard to really know when I'm going to get on here, but hopefully expect me to be on here once a week at least because I got to connect with you guys. I enjoy it. So, okay, let's talk about story. Let's talk about details. Let's talk about story is important no matter what you do, right? Regardless if it's, you doing play therapy, or if you have to be a professional, right? So you can do this as our hobby. We can do it just for, fun. We can do this professionally. I was recently looking at a documentary for WWE. And they had, I got to go back to my notes. They had Roddy Piper, right? He's a wrestler from like the 80s. And he's talking and he's, got this bad boy persona, and he really did come from like a tragic past, and he was able to take that tragic history and use it to create this bad boy persona, and it was extremely believable. He had like death threats, and he had even like people that literally try to kill him off of the story that he had created as Roddy Piper. Hi, how are you, Barbie Happy Zero? So literally, the story was so impactful, so believable, so influential that people saw him as a bad guy to the point that they were like, we want to eliminate you as a wrestler. And fans were trying to kill him off. And I was like, what? But it was a persona. It was a story. He had created a character and had became that character. Same is true with Steve Code. Let me make sure. Code Steve Austin. I usually always get his name right, but I didn't right now. Code Steve Austin. You see this with The Rock. They're personas. They are literally becoming and enveloping this character and becoming that in the ring in WWE. And we're seeing it and we're feeding into it and we're like, go The Rock, go The Rock. Or, you're like, I can't stand The Rock. Whatever your, whatever side that you're on is totally up to you. But the thing is that we're feeding into a character and we are allowing ourselves to feed into the story. Because story is important. If you're in advertising and you're in marketing, story is important. No matter what you do, story is important. You will see me look up because I'm trying to make sure that everything's okay with my kitties. You may want to go ahead and pass him over. I'm actually talking about with baby Malcolm because he's a bit heavy. And our 9-year-old, she's having a little bit of trouble holding him. So I'm trying to tell my oldest to go ahead and grab him. And then she can come on down. You're welcome. So I make it a little bit easier. Don't want any mishaps while we're doing a live. Even if we weren't doing a live, I don't want any mishaps, okay? So, okay, let's talk about details. So details are extremely important. If you want your character, thank you so much. If you want your character to really be impactful, to be believable, you got to give details. So I'm not going to have a really long live today, but I'm just going to give you guys a few points. I was recently watching the most awesome movie that I've seen in a long, long time. Hi, Toast's Tiny Stuff. Thank you so much for joining. The movie that I saw was Ghostbusters Resurrection. I don't know about you guys. Thank you so much for joining. If I can wave, I'm going to wave. If I'm not able to, blame Instagram. Sorry. It's not the time they let me wave. But listen, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. So I'm watching Resurrection, Ghostbusters Resurrection was like the last installment. And literally, that movie totally took out and removed the movie with all the ladies for me. Although I totally applaud them. I'm all about, the feminist movement. Let's go ahead. Let's do our thing, girls. But that movie, the last one with the kids, it completed the whole set for me. Like, it took me all the way back to Ghostbusters #1. And it had some elements for #2, but I almost want to go like Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters Resurrection, Ghostbusters #2, and then like at a far distance the Ghostbusters with all the girls. That's just me. You don't have to agree. But, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, because I'm about to be talking about the movie right now during this conversation. Yes, I am. This is almost going to be like a review, but yet also talking about the importance of story and details, because I'm all about that. All right, let's go. There are going to be times in your story, guys, that things are going to drag. What did I say? It's going to drag. Yeah. Like, we always want movement with our story. We always want things to be really exciting. We want action. We want it to be impactful. We want things to be drama filled. We want people to be emotional. We want the whole roller coaster. But there's going to be times where things are just still. It's just still. There's like nothing going on. Right? But here goes the thing. You need those parts. Because doesn't life have times where it's just literally like monotonous, like there's nothing going on and every day seems the same and everything is so predictable? Like, there's even a part in one of my favorite books by Dr. Seuss, All the Places You Would Go, and he talks about like the waiting place. Like, there's just like nothing going on. People are waiting for this, people are waiting for that. There is just, it's dragging. It is literally, I got a little person over here. I got my cup right here. And it's on top of the walker. She's like pulling the walker. And I'm like, okay. Not okay. All right. So anyway, there's a part in every story that's going to drag. Where there's no movement. Where literally the audience is reading your story or watching it. And they're like, why is this part in here? This is so boring. Or this is taking up so much time. And I'm going to use the example with the Ghostbusters story. All right. And like I said, this is going to be a quick live. It's not going to be real long because my kids are a little bit, like what's going on? What's going on? Let me jump in. Let me try to, influence her live. So on the Ghostbuster movie, there's this one part, and literally, is it Spangler, guys? His granddaughter calls, and she's like talking to Ray, and she's trying to find out what all happened to where my granddad is no longer connected to the Ghostbusters. What happened to you guys? I'm going to be honest with you. I got a little frustrated the first time I saw the movie. I did see it more than once. First time I saw the movie, I got a little bit upset. Why? Because I was like, why is this movie, Saya, going so slow? Like, why didn't she just say to him, I'm his granddaughter? Like, that would have been so quick. Egon is my granddad. Egon. Just let him have it. Just let him have it. Egon is my granddad. Like, why didn't she just say that? And I got really frustrated because for me, Saya, one of my kids, story is so important. And I feel like, you can eliminate a drag-on, then do it. But that movie taught me about the importance of a drag-on because, and I'm going to share it with you. Because when that part of the storyline kind of dragged during that phone call, we literally got a chance to find out the backstory. We found out why Egon was no longer connected to his buddies. And we found out, bonus, what happened to the Ghostbusters where they ended up separating. And so, had we not had that drag-on part, it would have been almost like impossible to find that out. Where in that story would we have found out when they were no longer a group called the Ghostbusters? Can I get that, please? Thank you. So, that was an important part of, and I was not doing a sponsor ad. I just realized, I was like, that whole name just went across the screen, didn't it? But who knows? Maybe I'm just like thinking futuristically. Maybe in the future, Cheetos is going to actually sponsor this. Anyway, so, going back. Without that drag-on, we would not have learned what happened to Egon, what happened to the Ghostbusters, and we would have been watching that movie kind of feeling clueless and wondering, like, why did they split up? And I look at the movie and review it, I'm like, thank you so much for joining, where would they, I put myself on there, as one of the writers, oh well, where would they have actually put that in the movie? And we're talking about Ghostbusters Resurrection. Where would they have fit that in? Sorry. Where would they have fit that in? I told you they're trying to jump in. Where would they have fit that in? And there was really no other place for that to be fit in. It was only going to work right there during that phone call. And I'm certain that even the writers and directors was like, don't we have somewhere else that we could put this in? And it was like, no, we don't have any other place. Why is this important? Because as you do your own storyline here on Instagram, there may be times in your story with your dolls or your action figures or your Legos, whatever it is that you choose to play with and photograph and put on here with the story, there may be times where you're like, this is just dragging. Like, why are they having this conversation? This looks so boring. Like, no one actually wants to know about this. But use that time wisely. Use that time in order to fill us in as your readers. fill us in on something that we wouldn't know unless we read it. You know what I mean? Tell us something that we wouldn't know if you know, that we wouldn't know throughout the rest of your story. Allow that drag on part to have importance. Don't just let it drag on and just have like a few jokes, or, you know, people just having like these boring, dull conversation. Use it as a time to tell backstory. Please stop. Use it as a time in order to give backstory. Okay? So that's one of the things. Another point. The importance of knowing the end of the story. So sometimes there's going to be times with your story or even your storyline that you know the end of it. You don't know how it begins, you don't know the middle, but you can literally picture the end. And the director's son, because it was the director and director's son who were involved with this movie. Hello, thank you so much for joining with Ghostbusters Resurrection. He was like, we knew we had a hit because we knew the end. And basically he was like, when you know the end, it means that you know the story. Because anybody can know the beginning. And that's true. Almost anybody... No. Almost anybody can know the beginning. But how many of us know the end? When you know the end, you have the story. I literally, to this day, thank you so much for joining, have a story that I've been working on. This story's older than my kids. Like, my oldest is 13. This story is probably like 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, and I've still been working on it. But the end is so tragic in my mind that I'm like, I don't want to write it. And I've only like written a portion of the story, but I know the end. And I'm like, it's a freaking masterpiece. Almost cussed. It's a freaking masterpiece. Like, why don't you actually just create it and write it? But it's so tragic for me. I'm like, I don't want anybody to have to go through that. Even my character. I'm like, I don't want my character to have to go through that. So, anyways, if you know the end, he said that means that you know the story. If you know the end of your storyline, it's just like a little hint to you creatives. You know the end of your storyline, write it. You've got a golden piece. You've got a story right there. Go ahead and go with it. Now, take my own advice, because it's a story that I know I need to finish. Because I've had it for a long time. Like I said, it's a storyline older than my kids. Just haven't done it. But I believe that it's something, you know, take it from me, advice-wise. Go ahead and write it. If you know the end, then you've got a story. All right? My kids are over here whispering. Everything all right? Thank you. Thank you so much. Make sure that the baby's okay. I would like you guys to stop arguing over the sanitizer. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, so in the case of the Ghostbusters Resurrection, it does seem that the end of that story had to do with the CGI hug. So there's a hug at the very end. And like I said, it was going to be some spoilers. And I'm not going to give you the full spoilers because I want you to see the movie if you haven't seen it. So there is this dramatic hug that is so intense. And if you are connected to Ghostbusters and you've been connected to it since the first one, you are going to cry. I'm going to put it like that. You're going to cry because it is an emotional hug. And they were able to do this hug with CGI. But guess how long it took? 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years for the hug using technology. So there may be a storyline that you have right now, and you've been sitting on this story for 2 years. 2 years! 2 years! Yes, I'm making an impact with these words. 2 years, they had to work on getting that hug precise. They had to go to a lot of different institutions, a lot of different computer scientists and computer engineers who were able to create the hug that they had already visualized. And it was impactful. Like, it was worth it. It was worth it. So even if you have a story right now that's like 2 years strong or old, or like me, you got a storyline that's like 15, 16 years old, it's going to come to fruition. Just keep holding on to it. Just keep, adding to it. Just keep working on it. To this day, the story that I have is still on my desktop. Like, every time I get a new laptop, I literally take this story from a USB, put it on a new laptop, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to tap on it, and just work on it piece by piece. Eventually, it's going to get done. Please don't do that to the ring light, sweetie. It's going to get done. All right, so like I said, this isn't going to be real long. My kids are starting to get a little bit, a little antsy. I miss you, honey. I miss my husband so much. He's usually with the kids. We're hoping that this works out today. Hey, Fairy of the Wind. I'm hoping that it does because my kids are starting to get a little bit antsy. Nonetheless, Story is important. Like I said, no matter what profession that you're in, what hobby that you're in, story is going to be important. If you happen to find that you're doing a story and you are stuck, like you can't figure out where to go with it. Oh, I love the red dress on the Barbie. Yay! Thank you so much. She is actually a gift that was given to me from the Great Plastic Adventures. Yes. Sister Kim gave this to me. And I'm going to do a little bit of restyling with her really soon. I was hoping to be able to restyle her today, but I don't really know if my babies are going to let me restyle her today because they're kind of getting a little antsy. And, you know, just like you have to, you know, be mindful of your body, like whatever your body's going through, if your body's kind of like, you know, hey, let's chill out, let's rest. And you're like, okay, self-care wise, let me rest. It's the same thing whenever you're a parent of 10. When you're a mom of 10, you got to pay attention to these cues. And right now, I got some restlessness going on the north and south of me, or actually maybe like east and west, because north and south. So east and west of me. So I'm like, okay, let me pay attention to these cues. You don't see it, but I do. Like, let me pay attention to what's going on. So this live may be ending real soon. I told her from the very beginning, I was like 15, 30 minutes. Give me 15, 30 minutes. I'm not going to be able to do 2 hours. I already know you're not going to be able to hold up that long. Just give me 15, 30. So, all right. And you're stuck on a story. Let's talk about that. 15. You're stuck on a story. Here goes the best advice ever. Go back to the beginning. Go back to the very beginning. So I don't care if you have 26 posts or if you have 126 posts or if you even have 1,000 posts. Go all the way back to the very beginning of the time whenever you started your story. So maybe you have, you know, in your account. Yeah, it does. It happens to all of us. That's so very true. Thank you, Fairy the Winds. So maybe you have on your account, you know, 1,026 posts, but you didn't start your actual storyline until like your 600th post. Go all the way back to that 600th post, see what you started off with, and feed from there. Take notes from the beginning to get a good idea of how to revamp and refresh your current storyline. Go back all the way to the beginning. Yes, go all the way back to the beginning. And I bring this up because just like I said, I'm actually doing kind of a review and notes from one of the best movies that I recently watched, which was the Ghostbusters Resurrection, which to me was so good that it almost kicked out number 2. Like it went like number 1 and then Ghostbusters Resurrection and then Ghostbusters number 2. Although I know that like messes with the whole, you know, timeline. It's just such a good movie. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. And watch it 2 and 3 times. Don't just watch it once. Watch it the very first time, cry, and then go back the second time, cry a little bit more. Third time, you know, now your eyes aren't so wet. You can watch it again. Nonetheless, I love the movie because you literally got that sense, bless you, that they went all the way back to the very first one. Like literally, I felt like when we got to number 2, I don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Ghostbuster fan. I was watching the cartoon. I was a kid of the 80s and 90s. I watched the cartoon. Yes, like literally, such a good movie. I got the sense that number 2, you know, they still had their thing, but they had so much, you know, packed in with number 2. Such a good movie still. Then you get to the 3rd installment and we got the girls and it was like, what the... Like, if you don't cuss, you probably almost cussed a little bit if you're a true diehard Ghostbuster fan. No, I don't mean it offensively because I'm all about, don't get me wrong, I'm all about the feminist movement, okay? Like, I love it when our women do stuff. Go ahead. Yeah. Get that clap on. I love it. So I wasn't, like, against them, and they were great actors. Almost each and every one of those female actors I am actually a fan of. I love their work. I just was not a fan of the storyline. And I felt like, because you know I'm about storyline. I'm true to that. I felt like they should have had better involvement with the original cast, with the men. And I know we were trying to go like all girl power. Y'all, I went to an all girl school. That's how like all girl I am. I went to an all girl school, graduated Valkyrie. Nonetheless, nonetheless, I still felt like we should have had the original cast involved. And I know they were like at the very, very end, and you see like Bill Murray like in 1/4 part of the movie, you know, like towards the end part, or 3/4, whatever. I'm not really good at fractions right now. Not right now. I'm great at it on other days, but right now I'm like, is that like the 3/4 part of the movie, or the 1/4 part? So towards the end of the movie, how about that? You see Bill Murray. But listen, here goes my thing. When you're talking about a franchise as solid as the Ghostbusters. You don't just put a random storyline in there. Okay? We still got to deal with the original cast. How does this fit into the originality of the Ghostbusters franchise? I didn't feel like, for those purposes, I didn't feel like it really did resonate with me. When we get to the Ghostbusters Resurrection with the young kids, it was like, man, it was such a solid deal for me. Like I said, if you are a diehard Ghostbuster fan, and you've been there since number 1, and you've been there with the cartoons, you would be like, and even with the cartoons, there was like some like, why is his hair dark when in the movie his hair wasn't dark? Or why is his hair blonde? Why was Egon's hair blonde on the cartoon and his hair was not blonde for real? Okay, so like that was a question I had even as a kid. Nonetheless, if you're diehard with this, okay, then you understand where I'm coming from. I love the fact with Ghostbuster Resurrection, they literally brought back in the original director and his son, and they brought back those elements from the very first one. Like, I already knew that the mom and the boyfriend were gonna get, captured and made into the beast. Like, I remember I was sitting there on the bed with my husband and the kids, and I'm like, yeah, they're about to do, like, all the little wiggle stuff and, like, manifest into the beast. It was so cool. So I was really excited about it. Good movie. You gotta check it out. That's all I'm gonna say. So, going to your own personal storyline, if you're stuck, go all the way back to the very beginning. What did you do in the very beginning? What made it work in the very beginning? Hey, sorry. You gotta just let him go. Just let him go. Second oldest is trying to hold back the other one from joining into the live. Just go ahead and let him go. Character details. This is my last note. Like I said, I got, my kids kind of like, flipping out. But quite honestly, with 10 kids, they're doing pretty good, aren't they? They really are. Okay, so give out a hand clap. So, now, we're okay. All right, so now, let's talk about character fails. And this is going to be real quick. Let's talk about character fails. Real quick point. You want to have them. Looking at Ghostbuster Resurrection, one of the things that I thought was absolutely cool, and this is my last point, and it's such an important point. One of the things that I thought was really, really cool is that her friend, like when they go to get the Slimer, it's like a Slimer caterpillar thing, just let him do his thing. Let him go. The Slimer caterpillar ghost. Huh? Muncher? Okay, Muncher. They don't call him Slimer. It's called Muncher. Nonetheless, thank you guys for that input. Here goes the thing. This was what was so cool to me. The friend who's called Podcast, he goes to throw the trap, right? And when he throws it, in our mind, because it's a movie, we're looking for perfection. Everything's going to work out fine. We're looking for him to just like throw it. And on first try, you're just looking for like the trap to open. And they grab Muncher. And Muncher goes into the trap. Oh, no. That's not what happens. He throws out the trap. It lands on its side, right? And he has to like pull it back in. And then, throw it back out. It was so awesome to me because I'm like, literally in real life, that would happen. Like, how many times have you had fails happen and you're like, it's not the way I pictured it to be. That's not the way it was supposed to happen. And that is what happened right there in that movie. And I love that they kept it in there. It was such an excellent detail. I don't know if like they had tried several times and it didn't work. And then they were like, let's keep it in there. Or if it was in the original writing. I don't know. It's not for me to know. I just know that I loved it. It made it very realistic to me. And it made me relate even more with the movie. And get even more involved, Saya. Where I was like, when you hear me say Saya, I'm actually talking with my kids. But it made me relate even more. Because I was like, wow. I could see that happening to me. Like literally. Like either I'm the one throwing it or like my husband and I are trying to like capture it, and yeah, I did. I said my husband's my best friend. So we're trying to like capture it, and then like one of us throws it, and it just doesn't work out. Or like one of the kids throws it, and it lands on his side, and we don't get the ghost. So it made it more relatable. Or even being a kid, I was a very adventurous kid. I was a very curious kid. I was literally, and that's probably another reason why I like the Resurrection one. I was one of those kids that would go ghost hunting. I used to go get cats and kittens. Somebody fell. Get cats and kittens out of abandoned houses. I used to accuse the neighbor of kidnapping girls and making them into mannequins. I was that kid. I watched a lot of Twilight Zone, and Alfred Hitchcock. So to me, anything was possible. Literally. My friend and I, my best buddy, we were spying on the neighbor. This is like a little story to tell you. Maybe I'll incorporate it into one of my storylines. We just spy on the neighbor because we were so like we were certain that he was taking those girls, young girls, and making them into mannequins. So yeah, like that was me. I was that kid. So for me, watching the Ghostbuster Resurrection, I was like, this works for me because I could see myself being in that kind of position. It was just a great movie. There's a lot of other points that we can put into that movie as far as when it goes for you writing your storyline. But I want for you guys to experience it yourself and be able to watch it if you haven't. If you have already, go ahead and watch it again. Now, one of the other things that I want to talk about really quick before we get offline is it's the month of May. I'm going to put a little shout out to the Dalai Lama at THADOLLYLAMA. I think almost everybody knows her. She's like the sister of all sisters, right? Like we all know her, and she's so fabulously cool. Nonetheless, Mermaid with the month of May is when she hosts this awesome and fabulous event on the odd days of May. We can post any kind of fantastical pictures that has to do with mermaids. Even if you don't have an actual mermaid, you can just like submit your picture. She has all the directions and instructions on a post on her page. Check it out. I got involved with it last year because I first joined this community in 2020, and I was like, I don't really know if I'm going to do anything with mermaids, I'll just check it out. But it sounded like such a fun thing, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool. So like last year, I got my doll, who's named Taylor, involved with it, and I actually need to like wrap up Taylor's storyline right now so I can get her back into mermaid for this 2022. And I got this doll like months ago. I saw her and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab her for mermaid. So was thinking about mermaid that Dalai Lama has in advance, and I will be taking some pictures with her. I'm really excited. So don't forget about Mermaid 2022. Go on the Dalai Lama's page where you'll be able to find out a little bit more. Now, next time that we get together, guys, we are going to, you guys can stop saying hi. We are actually going to redress her. Like I said, she is a gift from the Great Plastic Adventures. I'm so very thankful and grateful. She is gorgeous. She is just gorgeous. I'm sorry I cussed right there. She is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. I love her so much. Only thing, Mattel, why did you sew her dress on? Why? So, without further ado, I did go ahead and cut the seams. And I'll be able to put like a snap or Velcro, not to show your butt. But nonetheless, I'll be able to put like a snap or some type of Velcro right there. So the next time that we are together, I am actually planning on redressing her. I received a request not too long ago from, I do believe, at Tom Physician, about the topic to talk about when it comes to storyline. So I'm really super excited to talk about the suggestion that he has. So next time that we join together, I will be doing that, and I will hopefully be able to redress her. I thought about rebodiing her, so if I get a new body before then, as you never do know, dreams do come true. Mother's Day is coming up. So if I get another made-to-move body that matches her complexion, I may just be rebodying her. Otherwise, she's going to keep this body, which is the original body with the click legs. And you know how much I love click legs, so it's a win-win for me anyways. But I would love to get her on a made-to-move. She's just gorgeous. Like, she makes me want to cuss. Like, she's freaking gorgeous. Nonetheless, beautiful face. I did cut the seams. Thank you so much for this beautiful darling doll at the Great Plastic Ventures. So I'm looking forward to being able to redress her. The rubber bands have actually came out. Look at this hair. It's like red brown. It has black highlights. My God, dude. She is so gorgeous. So anyways, next time we're together, I will redress her, unless, of course, I just happen to want to play with her before then, because there's always a possibility that I may be like bumping. I'm just going to play with her beforehand. Look at this. I tell you, Mattel had some excellent dolls back in the day. Not saying anything against the dolls they have right now, but her features that are painted on her and not pixelated are gorgeous. And it's just so very reminiscent of what African American dolls look like back in the day. Black dolls look like back in the day. The full voluptuous lips, the full nose, the beautiful eyes. She's gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. So I'm super excited. I'm hoping that I can wait to the next conversation with you guys to be able to redress her. There's a possibility that later on this week I may end up redressing her before that. But like I said, if I can get a body to match her, she's going on a maiden move. There's no doubt on that. Like I said, Mother's Day's coming up. Hint, hint! Even if Mother's Day doesn't come like in that form with a Barbie body, she'll just, keep this body right here and just be a gorgeous doll that's part of the Sacred Para community. So, look forward to that. Look forward to the next topic. I'll be putting it out there. Like I said, even if I don't get a chance to do a flyer, we'll still talk about it the next time that we get together. Trying to think. If you guys have anything that you would like to talk about, that you want me to talk about when it comes to story, hey, go ahead, DM me. Let me know. I'll go ahead and talk about it. I am looking to have a collaboration very, very soon. So look out for that as well. I will be talking to one of the people that I've actually already had a conversation with before. And so that's going to be an enjoyable conversation. And just real quick, because I'm really excited about this, before this live today, I rebodied her. I've had her face for like a long time. Actually, I've had the whole fashionista for a while. I do wish that she was on a curvy, but I am loving her. We shrunk her hair, my girls and I, in hot water. I may shrink her just a little bit more. The girls are like, oh, no, you don't want to over shrink it, so maybe I keep it. She was on a curvy. I love her on a curvy, but now she's on a body that is slimmer. Now, since my kiddos are kind of getting a little bit on the rowdy side, rowdy Rod Piper, let me go ahead and let this be the end of the live with you guys. I thank you guys so much for joining. You see this on rewind. Go ahead and save it, share it. Remember, adults can play too. All right, so check out the book on Amazon. Adult Play Therapy is also an ebook. Looking so forward to you guys being able to just learn how to have fun playing. Because playing, like my kids are doing on the side over here, go ahead and get on up, sir. I think they're doing a little WWE stuff themselves. Playing is a part of life. That's what helps us to grow and mature and become the amazing and awesome human beings that we are made to be. So I hope you guys are having an awesome time with your dolls. Like I said, don't forget about Mermaid 2022 at the Dalai Lama. Talk to you guys next time. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye. Yep.